Introduction: The noise of the world. In a culture that celebrates shortcuts and instant gratification, David Goggins stands as a contradiction. Loud in reputation, but quiet in practice. Known for suffering, but teaching something deeper. Stillness. His life is not just about breaking records. It is about mastering the mind, and in that mastery, finding calm command. Chapter 1. The Weight of the Past. David Goggins' story begins with pain, a childhood marked by abuse, poverty, and invisibility. Most would have been broken by it, but Goggins discovered that silence could be a weapon. He didn't need to shout back at the world. He needed to listen to the voice inside that whispered, "Keep going." Modern psychology confirms this. Research on resilience shows that reflection and self-awareness can protect against the long-term effects of trauma, helping people not only survive but grow stronger. Journaling and silent reflection have been shown to reduce stress hormones and improve emotional regulation. If you take just 5 minutes a day to sit quietly with your thoughts, you begin to hear the whispers beneath the noise. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to respond to challenges with clarity instead of panic. Chapter 2. The 40% Rule. One of Goggins' most famous teachings is the 40% rule. When your mind tells you you're done, you're only at 40% of your true capacity. On the surface, it sounds like a call to push harder, but beneath it lies something quieter, the ability to calm the storm when the body screams. Neuroscience backs this up. Studies on endurance athletes show that perceived exhaustion is often a mental ceiling, not a physical one. By pushing slightly beyond that point, the brain adapts, building new pathways for resilience. Even adding 5 more minutes to a task when you want to quit strengthens self-control. The consequence of ignoring this is stagnation. The reward of embracing it is growth, a stronger mind that no longer panics at the first sign of discomfort. Chapter 3. The Discipline of Routine. Every morning, Goggins wakes before dawn. He runs, he trains, he repeats. There is no applause, no cameras, no audience. This is where his true calmness lives, in the rhythm of repetition. Routine is a form of meditation. Each mile is a mantra. Each push-up is a prayer. Science agrees. A 2023 study in the Journal of the International Neuropsychological Society found that consistent daily routines protect against stress and improve cognitive resilience. Another meta-analysis of nearly 1 million people showed that disruptions to routine were strongly linked to anxiety and depression. When routines are steady, the mind feels safe. Even a simple morning ritual, a glass of water, a stretch, a walk, can anchor your day in calm. Chapter 4. Stillness in Suffering. Goggins often says, suffering is the true test of life. But listen closely. He doesn't glorify pain for its own sake. He glorifies what pain reveals. When you run 100 miles, when your lungs are burning, when your feet are bleeding, you are forced into the present moment. There is no past. There is no future. There is only now. Research on controlled stress supports this. Cold exposure, fasting, and endurance training have been shown to reduce anxiety and increase tolerance to pressure. The body learns that discomfort is not danger. The mind learns that presence is power. By practicing small doses of discomfort, a cold shower, a long run, or a difficult conversation, you train yourself to stay calm when life becomes overwhelming. Chapter 5. The Silence of Work. One of Goggins' most overlooked practices is his commitment to working in silence. He doesn't announce every run. He doesn't broadcast every workout. He simply does the work. This is a radical lesson in a world addicted to sharing. Studies on goal setting show that publicly announcing goals can actually reduce motivation because the brain feels rewarded just by talking. But when you work in silence, you remove the need for validation. You stop performing for others. You start performing for yourself. The consequence of noise is distraction. The consequence of silence is focus. And focus, over time, compounds into mastery. Chapter 6. Lessons for Us. You don't need to run ultra-marathons to learn from David Goggins. You don't need to break records or suffer for hours. What you can do is wake up earlier than you want to. Do something uncomfortable every day. Sit with your thoughts instead of escaping them. Practice silence in your work. And remember the 40% rule when you feel like quitting. Each of these practices is backed by research. Early rising improves productivity and mood regulation. Discomfort training reduces stress reactivity. Silent work increases focus and long-term achievement. Together, they form a blueprint for resilience. Chapter 7. The Calm Command. David Goggins is often seen as the loudest man in the room, but if you look closer, you'll see something else. You'll see a man who has mastered silence, a man who has turned suffering into stillness, a man who has found calm in the chaos. And that is the true command. Not the noise of achievement, not the spectacle of success, but the quiet authority of someone who has faced himself and won. This isn't just a story of toughness. It's a guide to living with clarity, conviction, and quiet power. If this episode helped you reflect, breathe deeper, or see discipline in a new light, let it ripple. Like the video to signal resonance. Share it with someone who values depth over noise. And subscribe to the Calm Command for more emotionally intelligent stories that help you reset, realign, and rise. Every week, we explore real people and real practices that teach us how to live with stillness, strength, and strategic calm. No hype, no chaos, just quiet mastery.